I've been driving by this place for the last 8 months, and I finally stopped and knocked on this guy's door. He's given me permission to paint here. Oh my goodness. We're supposed to have a couple hours of sunlight. It's ideal, perfect weather. Let's find something to paint. Alright, here's the scene that we're going to go for, and I'm going to do a 6x8, just kind of get warmed up, do it quickly, and maybe have time to do a few of them, or maybe do the 6x8 and then enlarge it to a bigger canvas. But I'm going to go with this scene. I like that it's kind of this wider scene. There's a lot of open space in the middle, but you have this nice shadow shape here on the foreground to the right, and then a big nice shape of light here. And then these trees are super spread out, and I love the slope of the land here. So you have a nice slope here, and then you have this other one kind of going a different direction. The distant mountains, big blue sky, some nice clouds. I think it could be really nice. It would be an understatement to say that this easel is way too big for this 6x8. There's the slope of this hill, something like this, and then the slope of the back hill is kind of doing this, and then that mountain, I'm gonna have that mountain doing something like that. Obviously trees obstructing it. Place the shadow shape. The shadow reaches all the way to this hill, and it's something like that. I'm just gonna, with the wet wash, block that in. And the shadow on the other side is kind of coming back in. Something like that. And then there's a shadow close to me. Switch brushes, and I'm gonna put the light in. Nice, I like that. I'm squinting looking at where this line meets back here. And you think about the land is going this way, and then it drops down. We don't see that, but then it's coming back up over here. And so the sun is hitting these things at different angles. And this is looking a little, it's a little more saturated actually. It's a little darker and a little pushing more green. When I squint, it's very subtle, but I want to give it, make sure there's a differentiation. I want to hint the sky, and then we'll go for the trees. In this early morning, well, it's not super early, 8 o'clock or so, and the sun is over there, and I'm looking this way, and that blue, it's a really, really cool blue, and that like what I have is called celestial blue, but it's very much a cerulean. Is a close tone and temperature for that color blue in the sky. Right now, this is a big cloud right there, which is really nice. in the top. The sky always has some gradation in it. Well, okay, maybe not always, but very often. This is a tree is going to be right here, so I was leaving that. Just go ahead and put that in. All right. And might as well address the cloud while we're right here. Looking at the shadow side, I went with a gray with my ultramarine blue and a burnt umber, blue and brown with white. You can get a gray, and then I went with purple to kind of push it in that direction. Might be a little purple, but I'm okay with it for now. I think I can push the shadow on that the cloud darker, and then I want to get out of there and move on. Okay. Start looking at the trees, placing them. So I have one way over here. I went straight with the dark to place that tree, and I'm looking with the sun, and the front of that tree is just pure blasted with light. There's a distant tree. It's a little darker back here. As well as right about here. Some of this placement isn't exact to what I'm seeing. I think it all might be a little wider than I have it. But this is what I'm going to go with for now. A lot of this is reading as darker because it has these pops of light coming across the top of it. So I'm just pushing it dark, and then I'm going to try to get some of these light branches coming up. I'm jumping to a pretty small, even a smaller brush, just to get these dark branches reading. Alright, now I'm going to jump over. Actually, I think I can still manage to lighten up the trunk to get it even brighter, lighter. Yeah, that looks nice. To cover up some of this white so it can read that value well. All right, and then it stretches all the way over to like about here for the tree on the right. And it is in shadow, at least for now, which I think could be nice for the painting. Let's put it about here. It's not, let's see, what it's doing in person, I think it's actually all of this is just wider. In real life, this is wider. And so as I'm trying to place it where I see it in real life, it's not exactly in the right spot. If I go a little, I think I want to leave it about where it is, and we're moving things around a little bit. That's okay. Because it hits this, where this branch is hitting the mountain, it should be up here. If I'm looking at real life, at nature. But we're moving it around. There's also some of these dark green trees over here. Kind of on the back row of this. I'm just going to scribble some stuff across here. Alright, and then there's a tree right in here. And it's darker. The trunk it's being hit by light, but it's not near as bright as this stuff. And it's actually, as I squint, it's a little darker as well. So let's see. And then back here we just see hints of, this is an orchard that, it's a pretty old orchard, and it's lost some of its trees and its rows, so it's not completely, symmetrical. But it has that, you can still feel the rows, so I want it to have that feel. And there's a tree right in here. And then on that hillside on the back, as it starts to come up, there's a tree getting hit with some nice light. Nice bright light. It's very subtle. This is where painting this size canvas can be challenging, to try to suggest all those things. And this is very small for me, and so I'm wanting to kind of hint at all the information that I would normally put in a painting, but on a 6x8, I'm not gonna sit there and fuss at trying to get everything in there. If I can kind of hint and suggest at those things, maybe it'll be enough. I'm squinting. I'm certainly liking the direction it's going. I think they can even go lighter. Just hint at a few suggestions of trees far back there. Of course, there's shadows all back there as well. All right, let's go to the mountain. It's got this nice blue shadow. I'm going to use my phthalo. This might be too much, maybe not. Let's see. There's a very light green of the mountain being hit with sunlight down below the shadow, but again, it's so distant. I mean, it's so small in this 6x8. Let's see if I can suggest a few spots of it. And then the top is snowy and very bright, hit by light. I'm going to come back in with the blue of the sky. It's not really the blue of the sky, but trying to clean up that edge around it, around the top of that mountain. I like the light that's happening right now, and let's just work on the trees and then call this little 6x8 done. Looking at just this shape, just got a little stiff. Just looking to vary it. Base of this is getting hit with light right up to the front, and then pushing it back. The shadow goes back, and actually to the left side of this is all in light, with of course a couple of shadows a little further back. Okay, I'm looking up at this area, and these white blossoms are really standing out against the blue of the sky. So I want to just clean that blue up, and then we'll put in those blossoms. Same thing is happening over here. And these blossoms reach this whole area gets hit with blossoms. A few darks in here. And then this has branches that shoot over this way. It's what I liked about this scene was it was wide and a lot of space in here, but then these two trees kind of have this arch coming together. They don't come together exactly. This one stops about here. So this will be covered. This will be blossoms and stuff here, blossoms here. I think that can be nice. Just a couple little touches of light back here. Some nice birds behind us singing their spring song in the orchard. These blooms against the cloud, see if there's enough separation. And I didn't suggest that the branches over here, just place some kind of masses of blooms and then come back and place some branches. There's a big clump of them here. And this whole section up here, it's just full. Let's place some branches in there and see if it can come together. There's a branch that kind of comes up this way and then takes a sharp turn. And then I'm just going to suggest some little bits of light in here. And there's green leaves on all of these. When I squint, I don't even see it, but I think it could be some nice variety within these blooms. I'm gonna pull some of this sky. I feel like it's getting a little confusing with my white blooms. Bring some of the sky back in. And that shadow color down here of the distant mountain. I think that helped a little bit. I'm not so much seeing this dark that I just put in there, but I just felt kind of inclined to make sure it felt kind of grounded back there. It wasn't floating too much. I'm just going to take the back of the brush, just obstruct some of these blooms, and then maybe put some of them back in. Just looking for some variety. Don't want it to feel too stagnant. Let's see if I can thin out this area right here. I got a little too thick in there, and I think having that thin in there would be nice. And then just quickly, I want to address this shadow here. It just feels a little, the shape of it, I just want to add a few varieties to it. Put that shadow in and then just come back with a few spots of light. But then I just made these like exact same, they're spaced a little symmetrical feeling. So make sure the variety stays in there. I'm squinting. I'm pretty happy with what's going on. It for this size canvas, I'm feeling like I'm pretty happy with where it's at, and I don't want to labor on this little 6x8. I think it captures what I was going for, and the little things that are bothering me, I think, are things that for the size of the canvas and the way I want to paint. I don't want to go in there and try to noodle every little thing. I like this feeling. I like the light that is captured right now. And so for this, as a 6x8 little study, I'm going to call that good. I'm seriously blown away by this little orchard. It's too perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this little 6x8. Unfortunately, I'm putting the camera away and I'm going to get some painting done. Just did another little painting while I'm out here this morning, this little guy. And sorry I didn't record it, but I have about 30 minutes left. There's another scene that I'm gonna start, a bigger canvas. I'm gonna do just a first pass, kind of a wet first pass. I'll record it for you guys, but I'm not gonna talk my way through it. I just wanna focus on the painting. So let's do it. And that's less than 30 minutes. It's all the time I've got today. But I'm glad that I got this much done. I'll be excited to let that dry, come back out here, put a few more sessions into it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy these videos, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next week.